I'm Campbell Perkinson with NewFilmmakers Los Angeles. I'm here today to talk to the writer and director, Tomer Almongar, with the film 9 Full Moons. Here's a clip. Hi, Tomer. Thank you so much for coming in. I love your film. It was beautiful. It was heartwarming, and it was compelling yet patient and relaxed. It reeked of this confidence. And well, first of all, for our audience, why don't you tell us what the story is about?
9 Full Moons is the love story of Lev and Frankie, two individuals that are struggling with personal problems and demons from the past, and they meet each other at a nightclub, and throughout the movie they kind of try to fix each other and hang on to their relationship.
And what inspired the story? I mean, just watching it, I had a feeling that it felt personal and close to home.
The film is very close to home. It was loosely based on my life and my partner's life, and how we met. And my partner, she's been struggling with alcohol abuse, so that's part of the film. And myself, I grew up with a very dominant father. And so that's part of it as well, and all that kind of trickles into a relationship. Any relationship trickled to our relationship in the beginning, and until we kind of figured things out on our own, it wasn't great. Now is. So that's kind of what inspired the movie.
How did you get Harry Dean Stanton involved in the project?
This movie was made, here's an oxymoron for you. It was made by a group of individuals. Each one of these people is just a world in their own, their own kind of. And Harry Dean is friends with some of these people. And so when I heard that there was an option that, we could approach him for a role in the movie, I was obviously like, yes, we have to do it, and then I met Harry, and, I offered him the role, and, he signed on.
Yeah, the actors, every single one of them, it was just, and each story, each actor seemed to be at like tectonic crossroads, in their life, and just everybody was so phenomenal, and it wasn't a false moment. And how was the casting process?
Well, the whole movie started really when I met Brett Roberts, who plays Lev, the lead male character. And, we met in a film festival, and we kind of started toying with ideas. We thought, all right, we're going to do something together. 3 months later, I called him up. I said, because I was working on a different film, trying to take it off the ground, and I'm still trying. And then I was anxious to do something. I called him up. He was like, yeah, start writing. I started writing. 3 weeks later, I had a screenplay. He's in touch with a lot of actors. So he brought, he said, I got the perfect Frankie for you. And he showed me a photo of Amy Simons. I didn't know Amy's work before the movie. She's, of course, a brilliant actress. But, I saw the photo was a Facebook photo of her sewing, which ended up in the movie, the sewing scene. And I was like, yeah, done. I met with her, and she read the screenplay, and she was like, yeah. So this is kind of how it rolled, Brian McGuire plays Ronnie, same thing. We had a few roles that were harder to fill, and one of them was Charlie King Nash. We were going through, we brought in a casting agent, and then we were going through a bunch of options, because we knew we needed somebody like, Chris Christopherson, that kind of style. And, at one point, Chris's name was on the table, but Yeah, through the casting agent, you know, we got to Donal and he read the screenplay and he was like, yeah, man, you know, I'll do it. This is very different than anything I've ever done before. It's probably the smallest movie I've ever done in my life.
Oh yeah, you know, when you see movies these days, like 99% of the time, you're watching, the outcome is so predictable, unless they pull some ridiculous gimmick at the end just for gimmick's sake. But this, just to the bitter end, I had no idea which way the story was going to go. Was that intentional?
Well, again, you know, so, well, I guess I can't say that this has anything to do with reality, because obviously, you know, my partner and I are still together, going strong for many years. This kind of came about in the process of filming, and I have to say that you know, it was the ending scene was written the way it is in the film. But Amy and Brett chose to play it a certain way, and it was a very, how would I say, almost like a magical moment in the filming, because, you know, this was a very tight filming like any other independent. You know, we had 42 locations, which we had to cover in 23 days. You know, the ending scene, we were always like, okay, well, today we're gonna film it at the end of our day, and then it was pushed, and it was pushed. And then down the road, all of a sudden, we were like, okay, we can film it now. And we didn't even know where we were going to film it. I kind of knew that I wanted a crossroad, you know, location. So we ended that day of filming, and we started riding around, just a very tiny crew, cinematographer, sound guy, Brett and Amy, myself. And we found the place, and we were like, oh, that is the place. They got out. They started playing their thing, you know, and that's what came, you know.